good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm with you from St. Louis. I know many of you, but my name is Dee Nicholas, and I am an associate professor, director of the MS in Design Research, and director of the Drexel Design Research for Health Lab. I'm here with you to present the outcomes from my sabbatical, winter-spring 2023. During my sabbatical, I worked in 3 areas, looking at health innovation centers, looking at the design leadership within design health innovation centers, and also developing evidence-based design around some of the projects in the lab. The work that takes place in my lab centers on a concept that I've developed through my research called insightful design thinking. Insightful design thinking is a 4-part process: gather, analyze, synthesize, and conceptualize, that I use iteratively in both my research projects and with my design research students. My sabbatical centered on 3 interrelated components: the Make Tools Participatory Design Workshop with Dr. Elizabeth Sanders from The Ohio State University, a trip as a visiting researcher at the Swiss Center for Design and Health in BNBL, Switzerland, and further development of my funded Aging in Place work with Second Story Collective. The Make Tools workshop was a participatory co-design event led by Dr. Sanders, who has developed a specific process of participatory work. And we were joined by students, practitioners, and other professors from across the region who were interested in learning her participatory design process called Make Tools. We worked on problems related to the Children's Hospital, St. Christopher's. We worked with a group at Penn. We worked with June He's wonderful participatory co-design lab. And we also worked with Second Story Collective. As I mentioned before, I was a visiting researcher for 10 days at the Swiss Center for Design and Health in BNBL, Switzerland, a technical competency center around the evidence-based design process related to health spaces. And they were brought into being by the Cantor, which is kind of like the governor of their region. Currently, it's clear that design health innovation centers need to propagate in order to create higher quality health care globally and in the USA. In part, the Design Health Innovation Center teams are focused on and able to see and understand the issues underserved populations face in their experience. Little is really known about how they are successful, how they build teams, and how they marshal resources to their cause. This is the main reason my work centers on understanding how leadership theory plays out in design health innovation centers, and specifically the Swiss Center for Design and Health. The Swiss Center for Design and Health has a 10,000 square foot facility where different projects can be simulated. They take an evidence-based approach that is team and collaborative driven, and they have a strong expertise in evidence-based design. They are growing their projects across service and space delivery of patient-centered care, and they're a regional center with a combination of funding streams. That autonomy is a really important thing because not many centers have that. Outcomes from this work so far include qualitative, analytical, themed profiles of the leaders. I'll be returning this fall to continue my work with them, and some of that work is going to be reflected in the process that I do in my ongoing PhD work at Antioch University. The final project I'd like to speak briefly about that I worked on during the sabbatical is the Mantua Creative Standard for Aging in Place with Second Story Collective. It's an evidence-based standard that we're developing for people to use to understand how to better retrofit their spaces. This standard also examines social and behavioral life space issues for those that we're working with, and thinking about how they are able to access and use different resources in their area and in their home. How do they work creatively, and how do they maintain their social connections? We started by doing several observations of different spaces and building out an analytical process to contribute to validating this tool. Part of this work also includes understanding and developing tools for co-creation with community, and we'll be doing a workshop on our blueprint around that topic for the PACDC 23 conference on October 18th. I want to thank this group for asking me to come and share the outcomes from my sabbatical. I'm incredibly grateful for both the opportunity to have sabbatical and the opportunity to speak about it here. Please reach out if you have any questions about my sabbatical or anything like that. I'd be excited to chat further.